What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique, aka Unique Mazique, and it's my pleasure to get an opportunity to speak to one of mixed martial arts top-rated champions, Johnny Eblen. How are you doing today, Johnny?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic, man. Um, this fight coming up, obviously, it's a rematch with Fabian Edwards. You won the first fight pretty convincingly, elbows from top position and just utilizing the smothering kind of game that has really pushed you to where you are. I'm going to talk about where that is in terms of from a mixed martial arts standpoint, but just overall, just pushed you to where you are. Talk to me about what you think, if anything, could be different here in this rematch at PFL SuperFights later this month, October 19th.
I think the difference in this fight is I'm gonna fight a bit smarter. I learned from my past two fights about taking less damage and being less reckless. I like to be reckless though; it makes the fight fun, and that's what fans like. But hey, man, it's my life and my health on the line out there. It's my paycheck, so I got to fight smarter sometimes. And that's kind of it's going to be somewhat of the same game plan, but a little bit different. I'm going to put a little bit more emphasis on other aspects, and it's going to change the fight a bit, I think.
Okay. All right. So now, in between this time, right, of, the last time you beat him, he's only fought one time. Obviously, he got that victory. Do you think that at this point where you guys are, is this a rematch that you feel like he earned, or do you think it's like, man, is this a quick turnaround for me to be fighting Fabian again?
I think that he didn't really earn it. He beat Aaron Jeffries, but it wasn't really like super convincing. And yeah, he just won one fight, and there's not really anybody else. So it is what it is. Um, Not to say that he's not a dangerous fighter and he's not a good fighter. He's a great fighter. Um, and he's a tough guy to beat. So, you know, having to rematch him, it is what it is. I'm not too upset about it. I'm still getting paid the same. Actually, getting paid more. And I already know I've passed the test with flying colors. I just need to do it again, and I just need to be smarter the next time I do it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, just on the overall landscape, and put as much weight on this as you put, as you believe is necessary. But you look at something like Fight Matrix, right, which is a ranking system that is, designed to be non-biased, doesn't favor one particular organization over the other. But you're rated seventh in the weight class in terms of across the entire sport. How accurate or inaccurate do you think that is?
I think it's pretty accurate because it's based off who you fight, and I just don't have the opportunity to fight certain people.
Mhm.
Um, but if they can take into account who I train with and like what coaches say and all the stuff behind the scenes, that changes a lot. Even though people are different when they fight versus when they train, so you could add that on to it as a caveat. But it's like sometimes you have conversations with people and you know something about somebody that no one else knows. So there's some killers out there that are ranked low that are like, man, they shouldn't be ranked that low. Like a good person to bring up would be uh Moicano.
Mhm.
Like that dude should not be ranked where he's at right now. He should be ranked way higher. He's a
Mhm.
killer.
Mhm.
um I don't know what his unbiased ranking is on Fight Matrix. I haven't checked, but I think I'm ranked even number 4 or 5 in ESPN's rankings or something like that, and
Mhm.
not sure what I am in MMA fighting, but I'm up there. And you know what? I'm not too worried about it. I don't really focus too much on it. I just try to focus on doing what I can do now, and that is just winning, staying undefeated, having impressive performances, and continuing to get better at my craft. And you know, whoever's put in front of me, I'm gonna put them away.
Yeah, I feel like, so I've seen, several of your fights, but I feel like when, of all the time that I've, watched you fight and I've, I've been covering mixed martial arts for about 16 years and watched it for over 30 at this point now. But I always feel like there's a fight where you learn like one way or another about who a guy is. And for me, with you, it was the fight against Impa.
Yeah.
Because I thought early in that fight, I was like, I think Impa's got him. I was like, I think he got him. But there was something that happened around the third round, and it looked like to me, you were like, yeah, nah. I-
Dude, you got that spot on, bro. Like spot on. Like, nah, bro. Like not today. You know what I mean? Like you caught me with that one earlier.
yeah.
But like and like I was like I remember watching like the second round, like, okay, I at least ended up on top. All right, I still look like I'm struggling though. Like I'm still look like I haven't recovered completely. But then the third, I'm like you said, you put it in perfect words. Yeah, nah, man. Not today. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really felt like that was a fight where I saw you pressed because you, like you said, you haven't had a lot of chance to fight a lot of these different guys. There's supposed to be this guy, that guy. So in some instances, almost cruise control because you've been beating guys pretty easily. But this was a challenge fight, and this dude's a champion in another weight class, and he's champion in another organization that's now merged. And I felt like it was a heart tap. And so I really, for me personally, I felt like my respect level, I respect every fighter, you know, but my respect level, it was like went to another tier. So when you fight Fabian, seeing as though you fought him and beat him before, is there any concern that there could be a letdown after, coming off of things like that?
Um, no, I don't think so. I feel like if anything, that fight showed like who I am, and it gives. Obviously, people are gonna talk crap. People like say Impo won, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I got caught the second. Shit happens. Give me two more rounds, I finish him.
Mm.
Um, but going into this next fight, I think that fight really helped me learn. Like, hey man, you don't need to be that. You don't have to be a wrecking ball all the time. Like, you don't have to be in the fire all the time. You can be more methodical. You can take your time. You can use your wrestling a bit more, um, and create traps. And because this is all stuff I can do. It's just sometimes like when I'm fighting, I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I just want to bang, bro. Like
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
get in there. And yeah, I think with this next fight, if anything, I'm going to learn from my mistakes and I'm going to come out even better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really like that. Watching the maturity of a veteran fighter, how they understand that winning is this, and that's the paramount thing. And I do sometimes have to check this desire to bang if that's not going to get me to the bottom line. So that saying that, I have another question for you. I'm starting to notice, and this might not even be as much in Bellator PFL thing. But I'm starting
Yeah.
to notice in mixed martial arts where there's this, I think, a lack of respect for wrestle heavy fighters, right? Guys and girls that can get in there and guess what? This ain't gonna be real exciting to the casual, but if you know what you're looking at, I'm gonna take him or her down 6 to 7 or 8 times in this fight, and I'm gonna control every single round with top position. But as much skill as that takes, and as dominant as you might be, it feels like there's people that disrespect winning that way. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, so basically, I think fans just need to be more intelligent about what they're watching. You know, it's like, hey, if you want to watch fights, like dive in a little bit about what fighting is. It's not just two guys going in to sling and bang. I know that's exciting, and like you're gonna get some fights like that, but you're gonna see some like high level fights where it's more grappling heavy, and the guy is trying to go in there and win. He's trying to get that win on his record, and it is what it is. They're gonna do what they need to do to get that win, and you can't hate on them for it. And I will say this though, if you're gonna go that route, you should do what Moicano did in the first round with in his last fight, or
Yeah.
do what Khabib does, or
Hmm.
Islam. They
Hmm.
create damage. There's opportunities where they can submit the guy, and they're doing that. And that's actually something that I'm learning to do with my game more.
Hmm.
And I mean, even guys like Marab, I feel like Marab's kind of like getting there. Like
Mhm.
he has all the skill sets to take everybody down, and he can kind of scrap with everybody. But it's a matter of like finishing a fight uh, with a submission, or finishing a fight with like a fake takedown knockout with like an overhand right or something like that. Or just like ground and pounding a guy into submission, or
Yeah,
putting him away.
yeah,
So fighters need to elevate their game to find finishes, but also fans need to elevate their knowledge about the sport.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I said that, and I'm glad you mentioned Marab because that's one of the I think became a hot button issue there because everybody was talking about Herb and Herb saying, you got to work, you got to work. And I'm be honest, from me watching, I was like, he just got there. Like,
Yeah,
give it, like, like,
give him some time, bro.
yeah, it's like he just got the position. Like, it's like, okay, like, dude, like, and so sometimes I know that there's a difference between lay and pray and being active in top position and working to get a better or more advantageous position, throwing strikes, chasing submissions, and not just laying there on top. Obviously, yes, if we've watched, if you know what you're looking at, there's a difference. But I
Yeah,
just think, obviously, I sometimes I feel for wrestlers because they have to me a steeper hill to climb in the area of public approval because most MMA fans are less educated. It's harder for them to relate to a wrestler because everybody thinks they can get out there and throw strikes, but most
yeah,
people don't understand wrestling.
yeah.
So I know I wanted to ask you that, and actually you're the first person that I would consider like a super high level wrestler that I've gotten a chance to talk to since I've had this question in my head.
Nice.
Yeah, this is it's really interesting to me. So on this card though, on the Super Fights card, talk to me a little bit about what it feels like to be on this historic card for the PFL brand.
I mean, I never thought that this would come to fruition, like me being on a card with freaking Francis Ngannou. Like what in the PFL? Like what?
Hmm.
He's fighting my teammate Hanan,
Yeah,
who is a giant person, bro. This dude is huge.
yeah, I've
Like
met him.
talk about Battle of the Giants. Like it truly is, man. And holy crap, that's gonna be a crazy card. And got Aaron Pico going out there. Got AJ McKee, Cyborg. I mean, it's a good card, and
Yeah.
I'm truly blessed to be on it. I'm truly excited to go out and be a part of that whole performance that the PFL puts on.
Yeah, it's I would feel like it's got to feel great you know, to be essentially selected to be on a card that, in my opinion, is probably the first PFL card that I could say, hey, this pretty much stands up against any organization's card if they're putting on a pay-per-view. I think the lineup of people stands up. And so I know that's got to be awesome. So I'm not going to ask you for a prediction for the main event because I kind of know it's going to be the teammate. It's going to be the
Yeah,
teammate.
I
But
mean, I'm cool with Nick Sick. I like Francis. He's a good guy, great
yeah,
person,
yeah.
and Extreme Couture is awesome. Dewey Cooper's a great guy too.
Hmm.
But hey, man, I'm telling you, Hanan is a problem, bro. He is
Yes.
a problem, and
Yeah.
man, he's been working his ass off. I've been seeing him at the gym training, obviously,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, dude, I don't know, something about it. I feel like he's gonna get a knockout. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
something about it. And not to knock on Francis whatsoever because it could go either way. Like I
Hmm.
mean, those are two heavy hitters.
Hmm.
But I just think Hanan is just he's an up and coming guy, man, and I think he's truly special.
Yeah. Yeah. Is he the most athletic heavyweight you've ever seen?
Yeah, me and Mako were like sitting there, and we are like, he was like doing like jujitsu drill, like getting up from bottom drills. And I'm like, bro, he moves like he's a middleweight,
Hmm.
and like he's so huge, like
Yeah.
it's unfair. He's like, yeah, dude, and he has some jujitsu off his back too. And like me and Mako were just kind of like talking, like, yeah, dude, like I wish I could fucking be that big and move that well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. So I got two more questions for you real quick. How many fights before Kayla Harrison is world champion?
She should be a world champion after this fight. She should
Hmm.
fight for a championship after this fight, I think. Um, they need to make that happen as soon as possible, man.
Hmm.
I truly think she's the best in the world. She's a great human too, and I think she'd be a great representative um, over there, being a UFC world champion and a previous PFL world champion. I mean, she's a gold medalist too, and it's
Hmm.
just like Triple C saying he was the, you know, combat sports king or whatever. But
Yeah.
Kayla is going to take that crown very,
Yeah.
very easily.
Yeah. A last question. Anytime I talk to somebody from your team, to me, it's an opportunity to ask about Dustin Poirier. So I want to know, like, specifically, like, talk about like what it's like to train around somebody that's like a legit legend. You know, the
Oh,
moment he lays the gloves down, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
wait, so what was the question again? Sorry.
Let's say, so talk about like what it's like to be around him, train, be able to
Oh,
associate
okay.
whatever you can get from him. I don't know how closely you guys work. I know he's big, and I don't know how in the world he gets to 155, but
Yeah.
okay. But so, you know,
Hey, man, Dustin's truly a legend, and he's honestly one of the coolest motherfuckers I've been around at
yeah.
the gym. He's just truly a good guy. Uh, we always shoot the shit a little bit. Me, him, Sabah, Dia Davis. He's my boxing. He's our boxing coach.
Hmm.
Mike Brown, Thiago Alves, and
Hmm.
he's just always like uplifting.
Hmm.
Like anytime we're training, like I remember he was helping me. He was like kind of like helping me with sparring. Like we weren't sparring, but he was watching my sparring, and he saw me kind of get tense. And he's like, "Hey, Johnny, keep moving and grooving," you know. And it's just like just little tidbits like that. Like, "Hey, man, stay loose, have fun." Like it's stuff like that that I don't know. I feel like some guys understand it and some guys don't. And Dustin's one of those guys that understand it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and also like being able to train with him is always great. He's really good at like sparring with you at a get to give you an honest look, but he's not trying to take your head off. You
Yeah.
know, so
Professional.
it's like we're play sparring, but we're like, we're play sparring with a little oomph,
Yeah.
not too much. You know, it's almost like boxing, but it's not like full on boxing sparring. It's like okay,
Hmm.
you're boxing sparring with like your boy though. It's like okay,
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you an honest look. I'm gonna try to hit you, but like I'm not trying to knock you out.
Right.
And yeah, dude, I've gotten like levels better training with him and picking his brain and just like the main thing I noticed with him, bro, is just like he's in a good mood.
Yeah.
He tries to make everything fun and just enjoys the moment, embraces everything, and embraces the whole journey. And even when shit's tough and stressful, like I always notice he tries to find like the positive side of things.
Yeah, yeah. Man, I really appreciate your time, man. This was an awesome, awesome conversation. I hope we get an opportunity to speak again after the Fabian fight and then going into your next fight. But it was absolutely my pleasure to talk to you. And like I said, I look forward to talking to you again.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, looking forward to talking to you again as well.
Yep. Peace, bro. I appreciate you.
Yep, take care. Appreciate you.